examinations to our children and grandchildren. Colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that I'm extremely... Do I need this thing? I'm extremely excited to welcome all of you to this important ceremony meant for the release of Kcse examinations results. We promise to conclude this process before Christmas, and by the grace of God we have done so. But I want to hasten to add that the success of this process has involved a multi-agency team basically commanded by none other than His Excellency the President, who has been very keen on the processes and has made available everything that we have wanted as a ministry and as a governing council. So I want to appreciate the education professionals, the teachers. I must also recognize their commitment, and other government agencies, without which we would not have done this. I want to appreciate those people who manned our containers and centers, some of whom did not even sleep. The people at the command and control centers, both at the Ministry of Interior and in this ministry. This multi-sectoral approach has now reached and peaked at the end of the 4th year. You will remember that in 2016 we started a journey, and as I release the results, you will see that the government, headed by His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, is extremely serious about education sectoral reforms. Having said so, we should also be proud that our children, you will see that this year they have done better than last year, and like that as we go backwards, which means we have sanitized them. The issue of exam leakage before exam is past tense, and if you took part in the process, you know that we are now dealing with early exposure, which we are doing very well. As proof that our reforms are coming of age today, I will be releasing results that show marked improvement compared to those of the last 3 years. I do not want to say that this is the 4th year and therefore the last of the bad classes. I think if anybody has been guilty, it is not the child, it is we the parents that have been guilty in this process by confusing the children. And I want to put it to you that this year, I think we confused the children a bit less, so they were able to do better. This is indeed a confirmation that our teachers are now preparing candidates better, and that the learners themselves can now engage in studies knowing that the field is level. And I would like to thank everybody else that is involved in this process. I can therefore state from the onset that the Kcse has witnessed no out-of leakage, examination leakage. But you will allow me, ladies and gentlemen, because this is my last address to you this year, that you can peep into what we are going to do next year. And I want to promise I'm not going to keep you waiting for too long. There are some important sectoral issues, and the very first one is the competency-based curriculum. I wish to very proudly state that we are prepared to roll out the grade 4 of the competency-based curriculum come January the 13th of next year. We have printed the books, we have distributed them. I think we have distributed to about 97% of the counties, and the other 3% has been because of the weather conditions. And I want to assure this nation that within the next week or so, we shall have delivered books to all the schools. And as usual, I've gone round and I've confirmed that the books are in schools. So that is one. The CEO Teachers Service Commission has affirmed to you that as we speak, we are training additional teachers, specifically for grade 4 rollouts. And I want to, not to plead, but just to encourage everybody that as we move into this journey, which nobody says is going to be easy, that you help us to fill the glass rather than removing some water from that glass with some straws. So if you have issues, we must move on. If you have issues, let us move together to ensure that this Form 4 rollout shall succeed. And I want to assure you that since I believe in God and I believe in efforts, and I, on your behalf, we have the energy. And I think God is on our side. So who the hell do you think you are that you will make sure this thing does not work? It is going to work. My advice is that we should move to the winning side. For sustainable capacity development, teachers under the CBC, we have trained quite a number, like I have told you. But going further, you are aware that last year we stopped the P3 training, and I have been told that the curriculum is ready. The CBC curriculum is ready, and that we are going to admit sometime next year the first cohort of teachers who shall be taught only how to teach the CBC curriculum. At the August National Reforms Conference, His Excellency the President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta pronounced that there will be no examinations in grade 6. To further provide directions on transition of the first CBC cohort from primary to junior secondary in the year 2023, I wish to announce that the task force that I sent to advise me on the curriculum reforms is in the process of finalizing regulations and guidelines on the establishment of institutions under the basic education framework. You have absolutely no cause to worry, because the said proposed regulations and guidelines shall be subjected to public participation before assessment. Part of the proposal that we will expect Kenya to dialogue on will be a recommendation that the ministry establish a transition committee at national and sub-county levels. Term of reference for the committees will be put in place to ensure the 100% transition of learners from primary to junior secondary school in 2023. And even though I shall not be there, the system, whoever, by that time, whoever takes over from me, shall ensure that transition takes place. Finally, fellow Kenyans, I wish to assure you that the CBC will be anchored on evidence-based decisions. As a result, the task force on curriculum reforms is recommending to set up a watertight monitoring and evaluation system during 2020. This government's 100% transition policy, we are from January 2020 embarking on another campaign to enroll all candidates who sat these examinations as was done, who sat KCP as was done last year. And I would want to encourage, without prejudice, all, even though the girl child is already stronger, but they are receptacles, and that becomes a problem. So any female child who is a learner, who is pregnant, or who was blessed with a child, must come back to school. And in this regard, we are not going to mince words. We shall work together with the Ministry of Interior to ensure that the girls are brought back to school. We are also sending a very stern warning to the some areas of this country who still have this habit of marrying small children, female children, that we shall come and get your wife away from you and take her back to school.
What did you say?
That is what the government wants, and it shall be done. And I think it is fair. You can't marry somebody who doesn't know what is right or wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to announce that the applicants for the 9,000-odd Ministry of Education scholarships has gone through. We have 110 sub-counties which were selected on the basis of ability to survive there, and 15 urban shanties, if you want. For example, Kibera, Mazare, and what have you. Applications for these scholarships have now been done. I want to give you my word that I have no kind word for any thief at all. And that the reason I enjoy my work is that poor Kenyan child in the gutter. So we want to identify the children in the gutter who have passed the exam and required to go to high school. So anybody who has any funny ideas or giving us false information, remember that I manage by going to physically verify at random. So if we catch you, the choice will have been yours. So encourage all the poor children in those shanties who will have applied and are not taken to come directly to Yogo. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't get to me. Just say you are a destitute, you come from Kibera or from wherever, and you are denied a scholarship. Then I will go and check who is it that got a scholarship in Kibera and didn't get. You get the point. I don't want to waste too much time, but I just wanted to say something about NEMIS. I am not a politician and I have no desire to be one. By the grace of God, I am a technocrat. The weakness I have is that I'm just a worker. So keep politics out of my work, because I have no sympathies for people who try to politicize what I'm doing. NEMIS is here to stay. And as a matter of fact, at the time some busybodies were saying that we have cancelled NEMIS, we were actually strengthening NEMIS. And I want to announce to you today that we have successfully upgraded NEMIS on a 10G card. I have no apologies to make to anybody. And as we move along, I have been given the powers by the president. I shall call for any data that I need in order to evaluate and check at any time that I want, so that I can confirm that my officers are doing what they have to do. And you, as members of the Fourth Estate, should be fair, because those children also belong to you. Let me leave it here, because come January, we as government want capitation to go to human beings who have names and numbers. You have to get this very clear, so that we don't use aggregate numbers. And so the politicians should keep off me, because none of them gave me the job. I'll give the job by one person. And when he is dissatisfied with me, then I will be happy to go. But for now, I have his full backing and I shall deliver. That's the message I want to give you. I know you are waiting for aid warfare. I want to say this. In high school, we are providing aid warfare. We have issues with the NEMIS that we are still dealing with as I speak. Can the outlets ensure that if the headmaster has confirmed that the child is a student, is a learner in the school, don't use the excuse that the child is not in NEMIS. It is not your child. The child has to be treated. So from now on, we are going to be using bodies. It is easier to count bodies. Are we together? So that you don't deny a sick child and say, this child is not in NEMIS. It is not the child's business to be in NEMIS. We are the ones to be sure that the child is there. admission to TVET, the only thing I want to state here is that I am pleading with our people to change their mindsets. You get education because you want to feed your family, your wife and child, and your extended family. You don't get education to keep a certificate, isn't it? It is honorable to join TVET and come out and provide service to the people. Now you ask yourself, what services do Kenyans need? And you will find they are basically in the TVET subsector. So I would like the children who have not been lucky to go to university to get sometimes a useless piece of paper as a degree to embrace TVET and go to the colleges because they are there and they are tutored. That's what I would want to say. And I will not say anything more. So you can see my ear is quite full. During this year, we had 667,002 candidates who sat for the examination. And 51% of them were male, 49 female. A total of 17 counties had more females than males. And they are like as follows: Meru, Vihiga, only 1,499 sat for the examination. The majority of the special needs were physically impaired, and I will not rush to give you their results because I have to wait until that. Subject to performance of the 2018 examination, in the 2019 examination, 16 subjects recorded significant improvement. 11 recorded significant decline. There was no significant change in about 3 of them. I particularly wish to mention English, Kiswahili, chemistry, biology, and physics as some of the critical subjects where performance significantly increased this year. Performance by gender, and females performed much better than males in the following subjects: English, Kiswahili, theory, home science, art and design, German, and Kenya Sign Language. Overall grade achievement: the number of candidates attaining the highest overall grade of mean A plane rose to 602.